joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right. When you ain't feeling like super hoe today, play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going. You dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooking baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike you out. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. See, that's the difference nigga. The pimpin' mashing for these riches nigga. Nothing like you master magician niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route and working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch, that's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless, empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Come on pimpin' man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, poppin' pimpin' nigga. Can't stop, won't stop, smashing on these bitches nigga. One of them joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, just that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going. You dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun. Once again, it's on. What's happening? The game is on deck and in full effect, man. What's happening with y'all? Let me get my shit right. Excuse me, man. Excuse my pimping, man. I know y'all was like listening and you heard the music all doubled up and all that on the intro. That was my bad. Excuse my pimping for that. But we here now. And this song, man, we gonna chop it and pop this shit. Y'all already know, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. While I hydrate my pimpish ass body. Put some love in this thing. So this good old H to the Izzo. Yeah. Hey, one of the coldest things Sugar Free said in the rap song, right? On the song Angry Enough, he said, sometimes I sit back and chop it up with myself about this game because this pimping is truly therapeutic. Hey, that was some cold shit, man, because, you know, sometimes that's what a pimp really be having to do. Pimp really be having to sit back and chop it up with himself, man. And I was doing that today. I was sitting back and chopping it up with myself, and then also I was chopping it up with my brother, man, Philip Brandon Gilmore. You know, I be chopping it up with him often, you dig, but I was chopping it up with him, and I was chopping it up with myself, and man, hey man, it's a beautiful thing when a pimp do that. But yeah, man. Wipe your feet off at the door if you haven't done so, man. So, things that you could learn about women or about a woman in particular that could save you a lot of trouble. First of all, getting to learn the woman. See, the process of how we go about learning each other nowadays is just totally, it ain't genuine. It's hella artificial. It's not real. Like the way that people get to know each other nowadays, just something as simple as that. You know, it's just not like it used to be. And because it's not like it used to be, people don't get as far with each other as they could and should. People don't connect with each other the way that they could and should. And a big part of the reason is because the issue with how people get to know each other in today's times is that understanding ain't got nothing to do with it. Understanding be the missing ingredient in the recipe to get to know each other nowadays. You know, but getting to know each other is crucial, man. And oftentimes guys get with a female, you meet somebody and you start dealing with each other. And things move real fast. But you doing this shit with a stranger. And see, it's different nowadays. Cats be in relationships, like you might be in a relationship with a chick for 6 months and y'all still strangers. You know, the pimping. We be having 304s for months that be strangers. You know what I mean? Because you ain't took the time to understand each other. See, it's so many things that affect, like I said, the process of getting to know each other nowadays. Like, for instance, right? See, once upon a time, when we didn't have all this social media and these devices and all that, just something simple like going out to dinner with somebody. It used to be when you go out to dinner with somebody, and some people still do it, but a lot of people don't. When you go out to dinner with somebody, it's not nearly as many distractions, right? So you don't have, not only do you not have a device to look at because you looking at each other because you're there for each other, right? When you go to dinner with somebody back in the day, you're going to be with that person. You're going to spend time with that person. You're going to have an experience with that person, right? And that person directly and only, right? So when this is going on, you interested in the person that you sitting across the table from. And that person is your focus. So you having conversations with each other, you asking each other questions, you taking the time to understand one another, you paying attention to each other, right? You're listening to each other, as well as expressing yourself to each other, right? And the topic of discussion is you and that other person, right? In a guy's case, fellas, you sitting across the table from that woman. So she's the focus. She's the topic of discussion, and vice versa. As you are with her, right? So the things that y'all talking about is going to have to do with each other, right? Now, fast forward to today's times, right? People go to dinner with each other. Most of the time they in their phone. Big portion of the time they going to be in their phone, right? And when you in your phone and she's in her phone, y'all ain't really getting to know each other, right? For one. And then two, whenever y'all do speak to each other, it's about something other than yourselves. It's about something or someone that's not at the table with y'all. It's about what you seen on the Shade Room. It's about what's going on with Puffy. It's about what's going on with academics. It's about what's going on with some celebrity, Cat Williams. You know what I mean? You talking about these hot topics and you're not getting to know each other at all. Y'all not even paying attention to each other, right? You're not trying to understand each other. And neither of you are the most interesting thing in this experience to one another, when that's what it's really supposed to be, right? So that's why I say, people be in relationships with strangers for months and sometimes years at a time. Just, chopping it up with a stranger, spending time with a stranger, getting intimate, laying down with a stranger, because you allow so many things to distract you that the time that you spend on these distractions is being, the connection is being deprived of that time and that attention that's being spent on distractions, right? Hold on. Come on, man. It's 153 people in here. Only 77 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door, man. What's happening? Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. But yeah, man. You more familiar with these distractions than you are each other. You know these distractions better than you know each other. Like, do you ever stop and think about that? Like, some of y'all is in a relationship with somebody right now and you know more about Puffy than you do about each other, right? Both of y'all know more about Puffy and what's going on with him than you know about each other. Both of y'all know the Cat Williams interview that just came out yesterday. You know more about that than you know about each other. You could tell somebody everything Cat said, and you could tell somebody everybody that he said something about, what was said, verbatim, all of that. But you can't tell nobody what high school your significant other went to. You can't tell nobody, if this person obviously is grown, you can't tell them, nothing about what this person had going on before y'all was dealing with each other, or y'all was together, or whatever you want to call it, right? You know what I mean? Same thing with the pimping and the hoeing. A lot of cats be, sending strangers, breaking on strangers, instructing strangers. Hey, and these some dangerous times to do that for the pimping. Boy, these are some scary times to be doing that. That's why a lot of cats are sitting on their yard right now. That's why a lot of cats got that jumpsuit on right now. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of cats is filling out that canteen ducket right now, because they was involved with a stranger that they didn't take no time to understand. They didn't take no time to learn. They didn't take no time to figure out anything. You know what I mean? Just dealing with a straight stranger. And man, as y'all, if you just think about some of the people that you know, man, hey, that shit is a dangerous game to play, and it could be very costly. It could cost you your freedom. Sometimes it costs you your life. It's certain individuals that's gone right now that had their life cut short because they was so closely involved with a stranger that they didn't take no time to get to know anything about. Didn't take no time to understand, right? So that's imperative, right? Getting to know somebody. And within getting to know somebody, you should pay attention to figure out what this person wants. See, a lot of y'all, right? Back to the pimping. Hey, man, it's a lot of cats in the game that's trying to pimp on somebody that don't want no pimping. That don't even really want to be in the game. She just wants some money and some attention. Right? See, I just, I'm a lover of the game, right? And a connoisseur of the game and shit like that, right? So I really like to understand things. I really like to take the time to understand, the psychology behind things and why people do what they do. And, especially in the game, why some of these guys do some of the things that they do, why these females do the things that they do, right? And one thing that's always baffled me is, like, I guarantee you, like right now, if you go on Figueroa, you're going to see certain chicks that's just standing around on a blade, but not catching no dates. Not talking to anybody, not, engaging with the clientele. They just out there, right? And I always wondered the psychology behind that. And I kind of had an idea, but, it kind of hit me at some point, right? That, those chicks that go to the blade, and they don't really go there to make any money. So if they do make any money, it's kind of by default just being out there, for one. And then two, it's not something that they make happen. It's something that they stand around and wait to happen. It's something that they react to. It's not something that they're proactive about. It's something that they react to, right? Those types of females, they just like the convenience of the game. It allows you to be lazy. It allows for you to get the things that you want when you want, without having to be on schedule, without having to answer to somebody, without punching a clock, without running the risk of being fired. You can't be fired from the blade. You can't be fired from the game. A pimp could fire you, but you could still loiter in the game and be lazy and get by, right? So this is an example of the types of people in the game who they only want attention and they want the convenience that comes with the lifestyle, right? So on that same token, you know, you have chicks that will choose a pimp, but they don't want no pimping. They just choose that man because they might be physically attracted to him. And not only that, but they know that there's a lot of benefits to having a pimp in their life, but they don't actually want the pimping in that man. They want that man in their life, but they don't want to accept the pimping that comes with that man, right? So when you have that kind of situation, it's going to be conflict. It's going to be friction, right? And a lot of times the pimping don't take time to figure this out and understand this about certain females, you know, mainly because these types of chicks, a lot of them are willing to hand over whatever they make to the pimping, right? But, you know, if you take time to understand these women, there's certain things that you'll figure out early on that'll save you a lot of trouble later on, right? That'll save you from going through certain things later on, right? Prime example, you know, it's a lot of chicks in the game that's handing it over to a pimp right now in real time, that's dealing with a pimp on a daily basis. But when they get mad at that pimp, they'll say shit to him like, oh, you just use women for money. See, if you took the time to understand this chick from the gate, you wouldn't have made it this far with this chick, because you would have figured out early on that this ain't somebody who I need to be dealing with, because this ain't a hoe. She might just want some money. You know, she might want, you know, the benefits that come with, you know, messing with a pimp. She might like being seen with me. She might like being intimate with me or want to be intimate with me, but she don't like getting pimped on, because see, the pimping come with surrender, right? And then not just that, but you know, these type of chicks, you can have all the game in the world, but because they don't want the pimping in you, they not going to receive the pimping from you, which means when you try to impart game to somebody like this, it's going to fall on deaf ears. It's like trying to lace a brick wall. It's like trying to lace a rock. It's to no avail. No matter how gamed up you are, no matter how wise you are, no matter how knowledgeable and seasoned you are, this game that you pop into this chick is falling on deaf ears, because that's not what she's here for. She's telling you that because she knows that that's a requirement to be with you. It's required for her to be receptive to the game in order to have you and maintain you. So she'll tell you that, but her behavior is going to tell you something else. Her conduct is going to tell you something else. Her language, the type of language that she uses in reference to your pimping and to the game in general, is going to tell you something else. So, like I said, you know, she'll say things like, oh, you just use women for money. See, it's two times when people are most honest: when they're intoxicated and when they're angry. When they're intoxicated by alcohol or some other substance, or when they're intoxicated by anger. That's when people tell the truth, right? So some of these chicks will say stuff like that, but it lets you know that they're not there to be pimped on, because a real 304 would never say nothing like that, because a real 304 don't look at the game like that. You know what I mean? That's like somebody that's supposed to be the pimping, telling the 304 like, oh, why you don't like laying with me? You see how square that sound for a pimp to say to his 304? Why you don't like laying with me? I like laying down with my hoes. I like cuddling with my hoes. Why you don't like doing that with me? A real 304 that got some supposed to be folks that's saying something like that to her, she gonna look at them crazy like, what are you talking about? On the same token, it looks just as ridiculous for a chick that's paying a pimp to say something like, oh, you use women for money, right? It's the same type of thing, right? Or when chicks have a problem handing it over, or when they hand it over but they complain about it. I can't do this because I gave you all my money. I can't do that because I gave you all my money. Again, real 304s understand the game, and they love and respect the game, and they know that see a 304's outlook is just totally different, right? That's the type of shit squares say. They can't do this, that, and the third because they gave you all the money. That's the type of shit squares say. See, a real 304 understands that there's so much to gain when they hand over that little bit of money. And the stuff that you're gaining as a result of handing that over is way bigger than the money. First of all, then second of all, it's going to amplify your ability to get money. The fact that you handing it over. It's so much that comes with that. It's lopsided. The pimping can never come out better than the 304 in the end. When they part ways, when the pimping and the 304 part ways, the 304 is always to the advantage over the pimping. Because when we part ways, I might have some money. I might have some material things to show for your 304ing. But that stuff is going to come and go. There's going to come a time when that stuff leaves. And it's most likely going to be a much shorter time than your lifespan. But guess what's going to stick with you for your lifespan, though? The game that I gave you, the guidance that I gave you, the good habits that I instilled in you, the good characteristics, how I demonstrated to you what a real man is, how I just laced you up on how to protect yourself and arm yourself with this game to avoid people misusing you and mistreating you and manipulating you and getting over on you. You get all of that in exchange for the money that you gave. And then not just that, when you part ways from the pimping, the money, the information that was given to you to make money, you leave with that. So, like I said, this is what a real 304 understands, and I could go on and on about that. But just to give you a sneak preview inside the mind of a 304 that will help you understand why a 304 would never say nothing like, oh, I can't do this because I gave you all the money. 304s don't talk like that, nor think like that. And then not just that, but the things that a 304 wants is not the same things that a square chick that's handing her money over to a pimp gonna want. See, that square that's handing it over to a pimp, they feel some type of way. They do it because, again, they understand that that's a requirement to be with some ism. Just like surrender is a requirement, submission is a requirement, listening and receiving the information is a requirement, handing it over is a requirement as well. And they understand that. That's why they do it. But they do it begrudgingly, though. The square does. You know what I mean? The 304 is different. You know what I mean? The 304 love handing it over. Because she understands that everything that she receives from the pimping is much greater than her having control of anything. You know what I mean? Especially control when it comes to her dealing with him. Of course, she has control over herself, and she has control over how she maneuvers through life and the choices that she makes and all of that. She got control over all of that. But when it comes to her dealings with the pimping, she doesn't control that. And she loves the fact that she doesn't control that. That's the difference between a 304 that's down with some pimping and a square broad that's, down with some pimping, disguised as a 304. Right? And like I said, as the pimping, you got to take time, especially because in today's times, there's so much to lose and it's so easy to lose it. You got to take the time to understand this young lady that you have encountered before you get too far and put too much at stake, right? But guess what? It's the same thing for you squares. For you square guys out there. It's the same thing with y'all. You get into relationships with these females that don't want to be in a relationship. You make this chick your girlfriend that don't want to be nobody's girlfriend. You make this chick a wife that don't want to be nobody's wife. She not into that. That's not what she on. Like this chick that academics, this Cheyenne chick that he calling his girlfriend. She don't want to be nobody's girlfriend. What lets you know that is when he go through her phone and he sees that she's cash apping other dudes and she's stealing $500,000 from him and, causing all this drama at his house. And that's clear indication that she don't want to be nobody's girlfriend. It's like trying to tame a wild animal. Oh, this coyote is so cute. I'm going to take it in. I'm going to give this coyote a home and feed this coyote and take care of this coyote. But when the coyote get to wilding out, you sitting there wondering why this coyote don't want to be there. You know what I mean? You taking this grizzly bear. Oh, this grizzly bear is so cute. I'm going to take this grizzly bear in and I'm going to clip his claws and manicure him and pedicure him and take him to the groomer and get him groomed up and feed him. I'm going to give him plenty of fish and chicken and beef every day. When the bear get to tripping and tearing shit up and you sitting there wondering why, hey man, the bear don't want to be there. The bear want to be in his element. The bear want to do what it's supposed to do, what it's meant to do. And that's what you got to understand. You know what I mean? What they call it, a taxidermist, when they classify animals and shit like that. That's what you got to do with these chicks, man. You got to be a taxidermist. Am I saying that right? Is that the right term? Pimp don't know everything. I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. Let me see real quick. Oh, nah, taxidermists, they do something else. But, whatever that is, them people that classify animals and shit like that, that's what you got to do, with these chicks. You got to be able to classify these chicks. You got to be able to tell the difference between a wolf and a husky. You know what I mean? You got to be able to tell the difference between a coyote and a German Shepherd. You know what I mean? See, a German Shepherd could be domesticated and be cool. You know what I mean? But a coyote ain't got no business in your house. Coyote gonna do what coyotes do. They gonna tear shit up. You know what I mean? So a lot of y'all be trying to make these wild animals your girlfriend instead of going to get the right kind of animal for you. You know what I mean? And a lot of them look the same. Some of these wild animals look like these, domesticated animals. And, you know, some of these wild animals be real cute to you and they make you feel good and shit like that. But hey, man, it's still a wild animal, though. You know, this animal here ain't meant to be tamed. You know what I mean? This animal here ain't going to cooperate. This animal here going to bite the hand that feeds them. So this animal here don't need to be your girlfriend. This don't need to be your wife. You know what I mean? You really don't even need to be having no fun with this animal. You need to leave this animal all the way alone. Right? Zoologist, there you go. I'm tripping. I'm saying taxidermist. Somebody said biologist, but not zoologist, or maybe one of those, you know what I mean? But whatever the case, right? Yeah, man. A lot of y'all is getting involved with these chicks and they total strangers. You know what I mean? Like that Cheyenne chick that Academic said he been off and on with for 2 years. They're still strangers to each other. Right? Now, of course, you know, they strangers didn't know a lot of things about each other because they've been dealing with each other for so long, but they still strangers to each other, though. It's still a lot of shit that they don't know about each other. It's obvious to anybody with some game that look at it through game lenses. It's a lot of shit they don't know about each other. And that's why, you know, that's why they, you know, keep having the kind of dealings with each other that they be having, right? In Academics, you know, he's just in the habit of dealing with chicks that he don't even take the time to understand. Pretty time bombs. That's what he like messing with. You know, pretty ass time bombs. That's just waiting to blow some shit up. That's just waiting to, you know, do damage, cause destruction. That's all he dealing with, right? And see, like I said, a lot of y'all, a lot of the squares that's in here listening right now, you know, okay, taxonomists, that's what it is. Taxonomists and scientists classify animals. You was close. Okay, taxonomist. I knew it was something with the tax up in there. I knew it had something to do with tax, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just my pimpish ass mind thinking about taxing hoes and shit like that, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's where I got it mixed up, you know what I mean? I'm so used to taxing bitches, man. You know, I had the tax part right, you know what I mean? Something with tax in it, pimp gonna have that up in there, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. But yeah, so, you know, a lot of people don't think about it in that sense, but that's really what it is, man. A lot of cats be dealing up close and personal with strangers for one, and then strangers that you don't even belong with, strangers that you need to not deal with. You know, y'all ever heard that song, It's a Stranger in My House by Tamia? Man, that's what a lot of y'all got going on, man. It's a stranger in your house, but for you, it didn't take no while to figure out. You just still ain't figured it out. You know what I mean? Like just think about the lyrics in that song. It's a stranger in my house. It took a while to figure out. He wouldn't hold me. He wouldn't console me. It's got to be someone else. Cause he wouldn't treat me like that. He wouldn't do the things he wouldn't do the things you do. Like if you just think about the lyrics in that song, man, that's what a lot of y'all be going through with these chicks, man. Straight strangers in your house. You know? And again, you'll save yourself a lot of trouble if you just take time to identify who and what you talking to. You know what I mean? And certain things, once you have this kind of mindset, it's going to save you so much trouble because certain things is going to be a dead giveaway. Certain things is going to be a deal breaker even before you have a conversation with this person, even before y'all greet each other, even before y'all say hello to each other or hi or how you doing or hey, big head or whatever, you know what I mean? Before you even get to that point, certain things is just going to be a dead giveaway, right? You know, but you be missing all the warning signs, all the dead giveaways, because like Sinful say, when a man's manhood is alive, they brain dead. You know what I mean? Y'all let your manhood, drive you around. Y'all let your manhood, be the GPS to your non-success. Instead of your big head, you be leading with the little head. And that little head gonna lead you down a path of destruction just about every time. If you lead with that one, just about every time it's gonna lead you down a path of destruction. Man, y'all crazy, man, talking about Tasha K. I saw Tasha K in the Slam Onyx video. You crazy, Detroit Mac. But yeah, man, like I say, man, you got to take the time to understand these individuals, right? So getting to know somebody and then taking the time to understand the type of individual that you're dealing with, because if you take the time to understand them, you'll understand, like, I'm trying to tame a wild animal. This chick ain't meant to be in a relationship with nobody. She's meant to be promiscuous for the free and not for the fee. You know what I mean? Like, pimps make that mistake all the time too. You know what I mean? Be thinking that just because somebody is a good slut that they're going to be a good 304. And that's where a lot of cats be sorely mistaken. You know what I mean? On the same token, a lot of squares be thinking, that these attractive sluts going to make a good girlfriend. They ain't even identifying the sleaze up in her though. You know what I mean? You got to take the time to identify that in somebody, man. And it's not, these chicks, they not so enigmatic like how people try to make them seem to be. They might have been a little more enigmatic back in the day, but nowadays, hey man, they so easy to figure out. All you got to do is pay attention. Just a little bit pay attention. And see, what you got to understand is, for all the pimping that be having these chicks that say they 304s, say they want pimping in their life, say they want to break theyself, but their behavior is a clear indication of something totally different, right? On the same token with the squares, it'd be the same type of thing. This chick say she want to be your girlfriend. She say she want to be your wife. She say she want to be in a relationship with you. But you just got to pay attention. If you pay attention, you'll see. This ain't that. But what you also got to understand is that for every one of those, there's somebody that this, what you want is out there. And just like you giving the wrong thing the right opportunity, you know what I mean? The right thing, you might be walking right past and giving no opportunity. Because your antennas ain't up, your radar ain't turned on. So that, that signal ain't going off when you come across the right thing. It's like a metal detector, man. That's how you got to be with your game. Whether you a square looking for a girlfriend or a wife, or you a PI looking for a 304, you got to have your game detector on. You know what I mean? Just like how, then people go to the beach with the metal detector, walking over the sand, and when they come across some metal, the detector start doop, 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 doop. You know what I mean? This game is the same way. Because I know me, when my pimp radar is all the way up, hey, I'm gonna be able to smell it. I'm gonna be able to smell it. Okay, that's what I want right there. You know what I mean? Versus, she cute and everything, but that ain't what I want. She's attractive, she fine as hell, but that ain't what I want. You know what I mean? She might be a good time and everything like that. And I might could get a few little dollars out of her, but that ain't what I want. I want more than just a few dollars. I want more than just, a good amount of money, but they come with a whole bunch of problems. I want more than that. I don't want that. You know what I mean? Because you got that too. You got some attractive chicks that don't want to be 304s, that don't want no pimping, but will go out and slang that thing and hand it over to the pimping for whatever, convenience or whatever attention they can get out of it. But they not really of the game. They in the game because they like the benefits of the game, but they not really of the game. Right? And they come with some of them come with some good money. Some of them handing over hunks and chunks, not kibbles and bits. Some of them handing over hunks and chunks. But boy, if only you could see the storm that's ahead of you. If only you could just look up in the sky and see that storm coming your way. You wouldn't even mess with that. You'd be like, that, she fine and her money cool, but them problems I see coming with it. Cause see, it's some cats again, like I said, it's some cats that had a fine chick that was handing over them hunks and chunks, but they knew she wasn't for the game. They knew she wasn't for they pimping. And now they gone. Their life got took. Or their freedom got took. You know what I mean? Same thing with a lot of squares, man. It's a lot of squares right now that try to make a wild animal their girlfriend, an untamed gorilla their girlfriend, and their life got took or their freedom got took. Dealing with this untamed gorilla that they trying to domesticate. It ain't gonna work, man. You gotta leave that type of stuff alone. You gotta know how to identify, because it's some like the old cliche goes, it's so true. Even in today's times, as complex as the world is nowadays, man, it's still true. It's somebody for everybody. That's still the truth. It's just not as simple of a process to find somebody for everybody. But it's still the truth, though, because there's still some chicks out there that really love this game and don't even know it yet, that ain't even been turned out yet. And there's some that's in the game that love this game, that love having some ism in their life, that love following the PI, surrendering themselves to the PI. It's still some chicks out there like that. And on the same token, for you squares, hey, man, it's a chick out here that want to be your girlfriend, man. It's a chick out here that want to be your wife. But you looking for the wrong things in the wrong places. Some of you might be looking for the right things in the wrong places. But nonetheless, you in the wrong place with this untamed gorilla that you trying to domesticate. See, a lot of people don't be intentional about what they want in a woman, right? A lot of you guys, you don't be intentional about what you want in a woman. You intentional about a house. If you get ready to move into a house or even an apartment or whatever the case may be, you going to make sure it got everything that you wanted to have. If you want carpet versus tile floors versus wooden floors, however many bedrooms, if you want something modern versus something that's outdated, electric stove versus gas stove, dimmer switches for the lights, ceiling fans, central AC versus swamp AC. You could pay attention and figure all that out about where you want to live. And it's crazy because where you want to live ain't as much of a threat to you as this chick can be. Where you want to live ain't gonna betray you. Where you want to live ain't gonna snake you. Apartment or a house, that ain't gonna snake you. That ain't gonna cut your throat. But you'll take so much more inventory. You'll have a list of all these things that you want for that, and then know how to identify it when you see it. Same thing with a car. You know, if you go to shop for a car, you know how to find what you want. You know, if you want something that's 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive, you know, stick shift automatic or both, you know, shifter in the steering column versus shifter in the floor, you know, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, 12-cylinder, whatever. You know how to find what you want in the car, and you know how to, if you want a Charger and you see a V6, you like, nah, I ain't messing with that. That's a V6, man. Hell no. Nah. I need that V8. I need that scat. You know what I mean? I need that Hellcat. You know how to do that with a car. But again, that car ain't gonna cut your throat. That car ain't gonna scheme on you. That car ain't gonna betray you and snake you. The car gonna do whatever you want it to do. And it's never gonna go outside of that, right? But you know how to be so particular with picking a car or picking a house or picking what type of cell phone you want, iPhone 15, Galaxy 23, whatever it is, you know what I mean? The type of computer that you want, the type of video games that you want. You know how to be specific with all of that. And the things within those categories that look good, if it's not what you want, you know how to avoid it. Like a 6-cylinder Charger can look good. It might have leather seats. It might have all the Bluetooth capabilities that you want, the different USB and USB-C power outlets that you want. It might have all of that. But if it's a V6, you don't want it. As pretty as it is, it might have the premium wheel package, the sunroof, all of that. If it ain't the V6, you don't want it. Right? You need to be able to do the same things with females. She got a nice body. She pretty. I like the way she does her hair. I like the way she dress. But after having a conversation with her, I see that that's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I want. There's other attractive females out here that also are what I want. Let me wait for that. Let me go find that. Let me pass this one by, keep it pushing, leave this one in the rear view, and go find what's in front of me. You got to do the same thing, even more so with the females, right? Because see, this is what you got to understand, right? You know, once upon a time, again, when technology wasn't what it is today, you can meet a female and not really get to know her too well out the gate. And, you know, it could still work out and, you know, be cool, and it wouldn't be so risky, right? And you could still kind of do that sometimes today, but it's more by chance. You know, it's more of a gamble than it was before, right? You stand to lose a whole lot more now because there's an internet that can be used against you. There's social media that can be used against you, right? And it ain't just for the pimping. It ain't just for the game. You don't have to be a criminal. You don't have to be in the streets. You could be a square punching the clock, working a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? You see what's going on with Puffy. You see what's going on with R. Kelly. You see what happened to Bill Cosby. You see what happened to Harvey Weinstein. Ain't none of these people in the streets. Right? But you see all this stuff that's being used against them behind them dealing with the wrong females, behind them making themselves accessible to the wrong females. You see what they going through now. Right? You see the type of issues they faced with dealing with the wrong females. So there's a whole lot that you stand to lose. There's a whole lot that you putting on the line when you interact with a chick. So all that, just meeting somebody and moving fast and all that, man, hey, these ain't the times for that no more, because the world is way more complex and you stand to lose a whole lot more. And it's so easy to lose everything. You could spend years building something, building your career, building your life, establishing things with your family. It's so much that you could build that can be lost in the blink of an eye. Within the snap of a finger, everything could be lost. Bill Cosby was in entertainment probably 50 something years, damn near 60 years. Never was in the streets. Never was, a gangster or nothing like that. Can you imagine that? Never been in the streets, never been arrested, never been in legal trouble at all. Then you turn 83 years old and they sending you to the penitentiary. If that don't let you know something about what's going on in the world right now, I don't know what will. Again, R. Kelly. This man been in the music industry 30 something years. Done accomplished so much and, built so much and established so much. Who would have thought that in his 50s that he was going to end up in prison? Making himself accessible to the wrong people. And now look at Puff. Same thing. Now how right or wrong they are with, whatever things they being accused of, that's a whole nother conversation. But a lot of these people were, had their backs turned on them by people that they once trusted, by people that they was close with. All of them. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Puffy now, DJ Trickademics now, and I'm sure Harvey Weinstein, all these people, they all had their backs turned on them by people that was, close to them, that was benefiting from being associated with them at one point in time. Right? I've been guilty of it myself. I've allowed somebody access to me that didn't deserve, that didn't have any business being accessible to me, right? And I don't care what nobody say, man. Hey, for the pimping, once you start dealing with that 304, you trust her. Anybody who tell you, hey, listen, for the young P's in here, man, anybody who tell you don't trust these 304s, they not to be trusted. Hey, whoever's telling you that is stupid. Either they stupid or they come from a time frame where, that information was applicable. See, that's what you got to understand too, right? Some people have great game. You have some older guys that have some great game that was applicable to their era, but not applicable to this era, because the world is different, right? So certain things that people tell you, you got to pay attention to how much sense it makes. And the reality is, especially in today's times, because if you a P, man, you stand to lose so much. You putting everything on the line the moment you check a trap from this chick. Before you even check a trap from her, before you make it known that she can, the moment you make it known that you gonna give her some instructions, you don't even have to check a trap. The moment you give her some instructions, you can lose everything. So the moment you give this chick some instructions, you're trusting her with your freedom. Whether you're conscious of that fact or not, whether you're aware of it or not, that's what you're doing. You're trusting her with your freedom. That's what that is. So if you understand the concept of trust, then you're going to apply, certain measures to position people to earn your trust instead of just giving it away like a Chinese food menu. You can't do your trust like that because it could cost you your life. It could cost you your freedom, let alone some money and materials and all that shit. Your life and your freedom and your health, that's everything. It could cost you your health too. So you got to understand that concept of trust, and see, people be afraid to use certain terminology in the game because they think certain terminology is exclusive to squares. Like only squares can trust. Trust, that's some square shit. Love, that's some square shit. Again, that shit might have been suitable to other people. And then that's what you got to understand too. Not only are the eras different, but people are different. So to each their own. Hold on. Tyler, good looking with the $2 holla. Blessings, hit the like button. Indeed. Adam G, good looking with the $50 holla. You dig? Yeah. So yeah, man, you got to take the time to understand who you're dealing with. And you got to be intentional about what you want. As I say all the time, if you stand for less, you fall for more. And if you don't stand for being intentional about the type of woman that you want, then you're going to fall for the type of woman that you shouldn't want. You got to stand for what you want so you don't fall for what you don't want. You got to be intentional, man. Let me see, man. It's 260 of y'all in here, but only 209 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's door, man. What's happening with y'all, man? Hit that like button. That's the only price of admission that I ask, is to hit that thumbs up thing. You dig? But yeah, man, like I said, taking the time to get to know somebody, taking the time to understand somebody, really the understanding part is it goes hand in hand with getting to know somebody. But, you won't even get to know somebody that deeply if you understand that individual first. Again, if you understand that a wolf is a wolf and a dog is a dog, you ain't going to take the time to get to know a wolf because you took the time to understand this is a wolf. So I don't need to get to know this. This husky is cool though. I deal with that. So along with that, right? Or within getting to understand somebody, even if you take the time to understand this chick and she might fit the criteria what you want, to a certain extent, in the process of getting to know somebody, hey man, it's imperative to get to know about their childhood. That's going to answer a lot of questions for you. It's going to save you a lot of trouble, a lot of energy, a lot of time. Understanding the childhood of this chick. What kind of childhood did she have? Who was she raised by? What kind of relationship did she have with the people who raised her? What kind of relationship does she have with those people now? How does she feel about them? When she talks about them, how does, what kind of energy do she have? Hey man, one of the worst 304s that I've ever had, probably the worst. Well, nah, she like top 5 for sure. Maybe even top 3. Yeah, she top 3 for sure. But one of the top 304s that I ever had, right, was somebody that was just so disrespectful to her mama. I'm talking about so disrespectful to her mama. So disrespectful to her mama, right? I'm talking about would talk to her mama like a ninja in the street. You know? I'm talking about like just disrespectful. I had to check her one time because she called herself trying to do it in front of me. And, you know, as somebody who got respect for their elders and mothers and things like that, and I love my mother to death, hey, you not finna do that in front of me. That's what we not doing. Hey, you gonna cut that out. You gonna pump the brakes on that yesterday. We not doing that right now. No, that ain't going on. But this individual ended up being one of my worst 304s. At that point, up until that point, she was my worst 304 that I had up until that point for sure. For sure. Like terrible. But, you know, it was certain things that I overlooked. It's certain things that I didn't take the time to understand. Like I didn't take the time to understand that, you know, she just had a strong lust for my physical aspect. She didn't have a strong desire for the spiritual aspect or the mental aspect of the pimping. Yeah, she just wanted to jump my bones, man. And I didn't take the time to understand that. Again, because this is somebody with a reputation for getting a whole, you know, lot of hunks and chunks out the game. So I allowed this individual access, especially also because I know, you know, certain individuals that this chick done been with before and they had good things to say about her. But just because they had good things to say about her don't make it right for me. You know, as a seasoned PI, like I was at the time, not as seasoned as I am now, but I still was seasoned enough at that time to, you know, be able to, you know, take the time to understand what I was putting around me. Right? But I say all of that to say this chick was so disrespectful to her mama. So you can just imagine what kind of kid she was. And you could just imagine, you know, what type of stuff she might have experienced or what kind of individual she was as a child. You know? Like I'm the type of person like it's never crossed my mind to be disrespectful to my parents. Neither one of them. I love both my parents to death. And my mind doesn't even work. My mind ain't even programmed with an option to disrespect my parents. It just don't even if they was to be disrespectful to me, you know what I mean? Which they not, but I'm just saying, even if my parents did disrespect me, I'm just different. And I know everybody else is different and everybody don't have the same type of experience with their parents. But, you know, and my parents wasn't always the best. When I was growing up, they both made a lot of mistakes, but I appreciate all the mistakes that they made because all of that factored into me being who and what I am today. And I love and appreciate it, you know, so, but this chick was just so disrespectful to her parents. So off top, if I would have took the time to dig into that when I first met this chick, when I first encountered this chick, if I would have asked her questions about her childhood, I'd have been able to figure that out immediately. As soon as I started asking her about her mama or her relationship with her mama, or how was she like, what was her relationship growing up with her mama, how, you know, if I'd have asked those questions and I would have seen her response to that and seen how she talked about her mama, I would have known immediately, nah, this ain't gonna work. I know she cool. I know she known for getting money and all that, but this ain't gonna work. You know? Because, you know, the type of man that I am, let alone the type of P that I am, you know, a woman has to be a certain way to be in harmony with me. And, you know, you got to have respect for your parents. See, even if you have resentment for your parents, you still got to have respect. Even if there's things that you might resent about, maybe something in your childhood or maybe even something in your adulthood, whatever it is, right? You still got to have like respect for your parents to some extent. This chick didn't have none. She was bankrupt for the respect for her mama. And if I'd have taken the time to understand that from the gate, I wouldn't have had the problems that I ended up having later on out of this chick, you know? So that's what I mean by, you know, taking the time to understand and taking the time to understand the childhood and the relationship with this chick with her family. See, because listen, a lot of you dudes, this girlfriend, some of y'all in relationships right now with a dramatic wild animal. You know what I mean? With an untamed gorilla. Some of y'all laying in the bed with an untamed gorilla right now. You know what I mean? And if she hear me, hey, you know, you need to take your wild untamed ass somewhere else. Nah, I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you, man. You know, hey, if you like it, I love it, man. But listen, some of y'all sitting there laid up with a wild animal right now. And, you know, if you would have took the time to do that, just ask certain questions about their childhood. That's going to tell you a lot, man. It's going to tell you a whole lot. Hold on. D-Star, good looking with the $5 holla. Have you stepped your have you stepped your YouTube presence? I guess you meant to say up in honor of Sinful. That got something to do with it for sure, man. You know, but within that, right? Within me honoring Sinful, because yeah, it do got a lot to do with that. But see, you know, I understand it's a blessing, right? It's a blessing that I took for granted for a long time. And I, you know, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not taking blessings for granted anymore. That's something that I did for a long time, right? Because, you know, one thing that kind of made me do that, and it ain't his fault at all, but you know, Sinful was just so great at this shit. Naturally. He was just perfect for YouTube. Sinful to P was perfect for this shit, right? I don't know of anybody that was more perfect for this shit than him, right? And because of the way that I looked at him, I didn't really take myself seriously, right? Because he was so great at this shit, I didn't see myself like that. I didn't look at myself like that, right? And you know, now that he's no longer with us, I started to pay more attention to myself and my ability with this shit. You know, and I really understood that it's a blessing, and I can't front on this blessing. I can't sleep on this blessing. You know, I got to appreciate this blessing by making use of it. And then not just that, but, you know, the blessing isn't just for me, right? See, when you truly bless, you know, you don't, you know, like the scriptures say, you ain't going to put it under a bowl. You know, you ain't going to take a light and put it under a bowl. No, you're going to let it shine. So yeah, I understand that, you know, this blessing is meant to be shared and benefited from by whoever comes across it and wishes to benefit from it. You know, I had to remember those times where, you know, people thanked me for making an impact on them in so many different ways, but it's bigger than me. I'm just a vessel, right? I'm just a vessel of the Most High, but that's still a blessing within itself. Just me being a vessel, right? Because everybody ain't a vessel. Everybody ain't blessed to be a vessel to, do his work, right? So, when it comes to like people being impacted by the content to the point where it makes real change in their life, right? When people are impacted by the content to the point where they get their health together, where they make relationships better with their loved ones in their life, when they start being a bigger blessing to the people in their life and everybody around them as a result of the content that I'm putting out there, I can't sleep on that. I gotta let that shine. So that's when I started looking at it like that, that's what made me start taking this YouTube thing more seriously, right? And then that's something that that's as far as honoring Sinful. Yeah, this is what he always wanted me to do. He always wanted me to get serious about YouTube. I just was, I just never did it. But Sinful always wanted this for me. He always wanted me to be big on YouTube. He always wanted me to take YouTube more seriously. He used to always get at me about it. And I would have spurts. I would have moments in time where I'd get serious about it. But then, things will change in my life and I go, in a different direction and put the YouTube down and all that. But nah, this is something, Sinful is the reason why I even got on YouTube. I wasn't even thinking about YouTube until he got me on it. Right. So yeah, it's definitely in honor of him. But yeah, beyond just honoring him, I understand that it's a blessing that can't be fronted on. So that's why we here. And, again, like I say, as far as these wild animals, these untamed gorillas that people trying to domesticate, call baddies, call females, you know what I mean? Called your girlfriend and your wife and your 304 and all this stuff, it'll behoove you to get to understand what their childhood was like. Because like I said, when you understand how a chick, the experience that she had as a child, it's going to be a window for you to look into her mind and her heart and her soul and understand what's in there that makes her the way that she is, right? Like for instance, right, you got a lot of chicks that, hold on. I don't know, something stung me. Or a mosquito. I don't know what this is. Something like stung my hand or something. But yeah, it's certain chicks, right? If you pay attention to them, it's certain chicks that like they might be associated with different girls, but they don't have no real friends. You ever see people like that? They associate with people, they hang out with people, but they don't have real friends. See, the game is like that. Let me give you an example, right? It's like that with a lot of people in the game, right? See, when the pimping is really your pimp partner for real, hey man, when you messed up, if you go holus and dolus, you're not even gonna have to, like, if you my pimp partner, if I consider you as a pimp partner and I see you over there holus and dolus, you don't even have to say nothing to me. I'm gonna just hit your hand. Right? That's a real pimp partner. If you in jail, I'm gonna see about you. That's a real pimp partner, right? Now, what's common in the game is you got these guys, they all having it their way. Everybody got hoes, everybody got dough. Everybody got cars, jewelry, houses, designer, all the shit, right? and they hang out together. They campaign together. They go to the strip club together. They go to the bar together. They have drinks together. They go to each other's house on gatherings and shit like that. Picnics or holidays or whatever. They function with each other. They really, really look out for so it may seem, right? They really mess with each other. But let one of them guys go holus and dolus, right? I done seen it happen so many times in the game. When you up, everybody your friend. We all know that. They say that in the game a lot. But when you down, hey man, a lot of cats will give you the cold shoulder. This cat who you done been to his house, he done been to your house. Y'all always at the club together, at the bar together and all that. Hey, let you go holus and dolus. He gonna lean back. He gonna do the Fat Joe on you, man. He gonna lean back. You can't ask him for a jug. Not that you want to anyway, but if y'all was really partners like that, you shouldn't have to ask him for a jug. He just gonna hit your hand. That's how people really mess with each other. But like, I give that example to say, like, it's a lot of females like that, whether they in the game or not. You got a lot of chicks that they have girls that they associate with, but they not really friends. They don't have a real friend because they don't know how to be a real friend. They've never been a real friend to somebody, so they don't have real friends, right? They don't have real friends that they could depend on if they going through something, right? And not just that, but, they have friction everywhere they go. They disrespectful everywhere they go. They having friction with the men in their life. They ain't never had a relationship past 6 months. They ain't never built or established any type of connection with anybody. Nobody benefits by knowing them. They not cool with their mama. They not cool with their father. They not cool with their grandparents. They not cool with their aunties and uncles. They not cool with their siblings, nieces and nephews. Nobody. Nobody benefits by knowing them. Right? And then, they just like, you got this too, right? You got certain kind of chicks that have never been told no. And they never understood the consequences of bad behavior. And they've never been told no. It's a lot of grown women right now that they was the little girl that if they mama told them no, they'll throw a tantrum and then they mama will give them what they want. Right? The same little girl that had bad grades in school. And, they mama told them that they couldn't go to the skating rink on the weekend with their friends. And she threw a fit and was kicking and screaming. And then her mama said, fine, just go. Here, take this money and go. Because she didn't want to hear her kicking and screaming. Yeah, a lot of them is the same type of child as a grown woman right now. You know what I mean? Like that chick that your boy Trickademics is dealing with, that Cheyenne chick. She done had the police at his house 1,000,000 times. And I'm pretty sure she causing the scene. She tripping. She like Ginger on Casino when the police came to get her from Sam Rothstein's house. Same type of thing. Kicking and screaming, being belligerent. No type of respect for the man she dealing with, no type of respect for the authorities, nothing. It remind me of this chick, right? Like one time me and Sinful was in downtown Minneapolis, right? This years ago. Me and Sinful in downtown Minneapolis, right? And for anybody who know downtown Minneapolis, when I say this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? But Downtown, right? Everything shut down at 2 o'clock. All the nightclubs shut down at 2, right? So, they got a little area downtown where all the nightclubs is, right? Like Fifth and Hennepin, that whole little area over there, right? So everything shut down at 2 o'clock. And it goes in stages, right? Now, police will let you linger for a minute, but after maybe 10 or 15 minutes or whatever, police gonna start telling everybody, all right, y'all gotta get up out of here, y'all gotta go home, or you gotta leave the area. And then if people still lingering around too much and they not listening, the police will start spraying the ground with mace. They'll start spraying mace all over the ground, like to the point where it's like you can't stand around there because you're gonna be inhaling the shit. Right? So me and Sinful downtown Minneapolis, we chilling, and the police doing their thing. They telling everybody to leave, and they was telling this one little chick to leave, right? One little young sister, right? They telling her to go. She cussing them out, talking crazy to them. And they're warning her. They're like, you need to leave. If you don't leave, it's going to be a problem. She's still talking crazy to them, cussing them out. You know what I mean? And they end up hitting her with that bear mace. You know that mace that come out in a cloud? Like, oh, they put that cloud in her face. And she got hit with that mace in the face, man. And she was coughing and crying, but still talking crazy. Y'all ain't, man, screw y'all, man. Woody. She's still talking crazy. She just got hit in the face with that. Hey, man, you ever seen that mace, man, when it come out in a cloud? Man, they gave it to her up close and personal. They put that cloud on her face, man. And she's still talking crazy. Then they end up taking her to jail. Right? Another time, I remember one of my students and one of my partner students was down together, right? This in Vegas. They down together. They get stopped by the people together, right? So the people is just running their names to see if they got warrants. If they ain't got no warrants, the people gonna let them go, right? My partner student talking crazy to him the whole time. My student is being cool, right? Then people is warning my partner student, like, look, you need to chill out. You know what I mean? You getting beside yourself. You know, we just gonna run your name and let you go, but you doing too much right now. You really need to chill. You gonna make matters worse. She keep on talking crazy to him. Right? And like, all right, I'm gonna tell you one last time, you need to chill. If not, you know, you gonna make it worse for yourself. She's still talking crazy. Then my student is like whispering to her, like, girl, you need to chill out. They finna let us go. She's still talking crazy to him. They let my student go and they take his student to jail. You know? And you have a lot of chicks like that. Those are the same kind of chicks that will start breaking stuff at your house, will call them people on you, will throw a tantrum, you know, because when they were a child, they were that little girl with the bad grades in the dirty bedroom that they mama said, you can't do this or that until you clean your room. You can't do this or that until you get your grades up, but they'll throw a fit and then they mama will let them have their way. That little girl has grown up into that woman. It's the same person. Right? That's why I say it's imperative to understand, you know, what type of childhood this chick had. Because if she one of them type of kids that, you know, was never understood the concept of no, or never understood the consequences of, you know, bad behavior, you know, she gonna grow up and still not have a concept of consequences. So she gonna be disrespectful. She gonna be shysty. She gonna be scandalous. And she's gonna be everything that you don't want in your life. And some of them type of chicks are very attractive. And they're, they can be very deceiving. As they say, looks can be very deceiving. But they're not so deceiving when you're intentional. Looks are not so deceiving when you know what you want out of a woman, and you know how to identify what you want, and you know how to identify what you don't want. And you're intentional about that, and you take the time to do that. Then the looks ain't so deceiving. But it's imperative. And the sad part is you don't have to deal with that. Hey, man, if you dealing with a dramatic, crazy ass chick, you don't have to deal with that. There's somebody out there that you want. It's an attractive woman out there that is going to respect you, is going to surrender herself to you, is going to appreciate you. And see, hey, man, it's so deep, right? Because a lot of cats don't understand, man. Hey, it be a lot of this woman bashing shit going on, man. If you listen to a lot of these dating coaches and, these supposed experts and gurus that was really nerds all their life. You know what I mean? They'll make you think that you supposed to be at war with women. Like the woman is your enemy. That's how a lot of these dating coach dudes be talking. Or, as Sinful call them, Fresh and Trick. If you listen to those guys, if you watch their podcasts, if you see how they interact with women, and then if you see how they talk about women, you would, they'll have you, if you allow them to rub off on you, they'll have you in the mindset of you at war with women. You at war with the opposite sex. Like when you see them, it's funk on sight. It's beef. Like you're just not supposed to get along with them. That's how they'll have you thinking. But, the reality is, hey, man, just like how we say all the time that, a real man bring the best out of a woman. Hey, a real woman bring the best out of a man too. You know what I mean? Like just me as the pimping, right? When I got a real 304 around me, that's when I'm my best self. All of my greatness is exemplified when I got real 304s around me. Right? Versus when I got a chick she just willing to hand it over, but she ain't really a 304 like that. She don't really like the game like that, and she don't really like the pimping in me like that, but she just like the benefits of the game. She like the convenience of the game. So she tolerating the game and she tolerating my pimping, but she really ain't into it. I'm not my best self with dealing with somebody like that. You know what I mean? Because I can't be of service to somebody like that. See, when the pimping is dealing with a real 304, then I'm giving the best service that I can give to this chick, right? And it's the same thing with a man. Again, you notice how a lot of this shit is transcendental between the game and the square world as well. Same thing with a square dude, right? A lot of y'all is dealing with crazy, dramatic, belligerent, wild, untamed gorillas. And you don't understand that you're not your best self with somebody like that. A lot of y'all get with somebody like that and get fat. A lot of y'all get with somebody like that and isolate yourself from your friends and your family and your loved ones. A lot of y'all get with somebody like that and get stupid. You don't take care of your mind. You don't take care of your body. And you letting this person drain all the goodness out of you. And they not giving you anything good in return. You're not being your best self with somebody like that. On the flip side of the coin, when you got a woman that appreciates you, when you got a woman that respects you, when you got a woman that surrenders herself to you and hands you the wheel and say, I'm ready to go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do. Hey, man, that's when you're going to be your best. That's when you're going to be the best man that you could be. Because you understand, okay, I'm of service to this individual. I got to lead this individual. I'm responsible for this individual. When you got that mindset and you accept that responsibility, that's when you're going to be your best. I know it is with me. You know, when this woman surrenders herself to me and is willing to follow my lead to the letter, hey man, that's when I'm my best. That's when my mind is the clearest. That's when my heart is the purest. That's when my soul is the cleanest. Hey man, that's when I'm putting my best work in. That's when my passion is the best, most intense. That's when I'm putting my best. That's when I'm presenting my best self. Not just to her, but to everybody. You know what I mean? You remember when you was a kid, when you was in high school, and you know, you could just tell when one of your partners got some cut the night before. You know what I mean? He come to school feeling all good. He feeling himself. He in a good mood and everything like that. Be like, oh man, you must have got some last night. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? When you got that right woman in your life, it's gonna be obvious to everybody around. You know what I mean? That's why I was saying, you know, again, that's why I keep using the boy Trickademics as an example, because, you know, if he had better friends, he would have a whole totally different outlook on how he deal with women and the types of women that he's interested in. He would just revamp everything, right? If you pay attention to like Jay-Z and Beyonce and how they bring the best out of each other, it's not just because a lot of people try to say that like, oh, Beyonce, you know, she leveled up when she got with Jay-Z. You know, she was cool before him, but, you know, he made her so much better, or vice versa. Some people say the same thing about Jay-Z. Oh, you know, Jay-Z was cool, but, you know, he became a lot better when he got Beyonce. And no, they do that for each other. It's not just one doing it for the other. It don't work like that. You don't have them kind of connections where it's just one person benefiting and the other person is giving, and it's one way. And it's not reciprocated. It don't work like that. The only way it works is if it is reciprocated. You know what I mean? How you think one person just gonna give their best to somebody that's not doing the same thing to them? Ain't no way in the world. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? And anybody else that you look at that are great together, what they call them power couples. Just look at any of them. You know, this thriving. You know? And man, hold on, man. Let me put some love in my body, man. You know, Pimp get to popping this shit. And Pimp be forgetting to put some love in his body, man. If you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. What I mean by that, hit that like button, man. Let me see. My young partner Hollers, man. What's up with it, Hollers? Good looking with the $20 Hollers. Blessings to a real one. Learning that childhood is key like a motherfucker. Yeah, for real. You know. You know just as well as anybody. I know you know. Cause see, one thing learning about somebody's childhood is gonna let you know, like, it'll let you know, like, if they have any type of anything to do with love. If they love somebody, if other people love them, you know, it'll tell you a lot about somebody if you meet their family and talk to their family and see their perspective on that individual. It'll tell you a lot about that person, right? You know, it won't tell you everything, but it'll tell you a lot. It'll give you a good idea. You know, because you got a lot of that too. And that don't make somebody bad if they didn't receive no love, but you know, it'll give you a good idea of who and what you're dealing with. But some people don't. Some people didn't receive enough love when they was young, when they was kids. Some people didn't, you know, and all of that factors into somebody's self-esteem. You know, you hear the cliches of, you know, parents telling their kids they could be whatever they want and this, that, and the third. You know, it's cliche, but that type of stuff is important. You know, telling your kids that they beautiful. Telling your kids that they're brilliant. You know, and really meaning it and really seeing that in them. Right? And appreciating that in them. You know, but a lot of people didn't receive that when they was young. You know, even if, like me, for instance, right? When it came to certain talents that I had, I didn't always receive the most reassurance. But I still had that love from my parents, though. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that my parents loved me. You know what I mean? That was never a doubt in my mind. And that's important. That's crucial. Because, you know, it just gives you a sense of importance. And that's what your self-esteem is. Your self-esteem is your scale of, you know, how important you are to yourself and to others. You know, that's what helps build your self-esteem. And if you don't believe you're important to anybody, or if you don't see yourself as being important to yourself, if you don't mean anything to yourself, then your self-esteem gonna be low. You see what it's called? Self-esteem. It's how you esteem yourself. And that shit is crucial. And a major part of how you esteem yourself is knowing how others esteem you as well. Right? And when you know, it just does something to your self-esteem to know that you mean something to other people, to know that you're important to other people. And, you know, a lot of these chicks don't have that. They don't know to themselves that they mean something to somebody else, like somebody benefits by being associated with them. Somebody benefits by being related to them in some kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. You know, I don't like when it comes to my family, right? It's a trip, like how, you know, and it ain't with a lot of students, but like some of my students, right, when they've met my family, in the way that my family talks about me to my students, or to, you know, some of my partners, it might be a P partner of mine or something, you know, meet my family and stuff like that. The way that they talk about me to other people, right? It lets me know that they, you know, they appreciate me, they love me, they hold me to a high regard, right? But they don't know what that shit do for me. And I've always had that from a young age, right? I've always felt that from my family. not just from my immediate family, but my grandmother, cousins, aunties, uncles, everybody. I received a whole lot of love as a child. A whole lot of love. And that factors heavily into the type of person that you see and hear right now. So, just understand that this is the product of a lot of love that y'all see and hear right now. You know what I mean? Because I've always loved myself. I've never not appreciated my life. I've never looked at my life and been like, man, life just ain't worth living. I've never had them kind of thoughts. Even when I was in fucked up situations, like I've never had them kind of thoughts. But that's the product of receiving a lot of love throughout life. And what I'm saying is, if you that type of man, you got to find that kind of woman or those kind of women that also understand what it's like to feel love and be appreciated and be important to other people. Right? Some of these chicks just don't mean nobody no good. Nobody benefits by knowing them. And you don't need what make you think you gonna benefit by knowing them. Her mama don't benefit by knowing her. Her kids don't benefit by knowing her. Her daddy don't benefit by knowing her. Her grandma, her aunties, sisters and brothers. Nobody that she knows benefits by knowing her. But you think you finna benefit by knowing her. Come on, man. Nah. Just like your family loves you and speaks highly of you, you need to find a chick like that. They out there. And see, this is what you got to understand too, right? You know how, like, just think about it like this, right? If you think about luxury watches, think about the percentage of people in society that have luxury watches. You see a lot of people with them, but if you just think about the percentage of society as a whole that has luxury watches, the percentage is most likely very small, right? People who live in mansion homes, the percentage of society that lives in mansion homes is very small. The percentage of society that is considered wealthy is very small, right? It's not something that everybody has. And people hold those things to a high regard, right? In the NFL, it's hundreds of players in the NFL. Well, really thousands in the NFL, but it's only one team that's going to be the champion at the end of the season. Same thing with basketball. It's only one team that's going to be the champion at the end. Everybody don't get to be champions. Right? So if you look at yourself like that, if you view yourself as exclusive, if you view yourself as a champion, then you understand it like it's a lot of people competing for the championship, but everybody ain't going to get it. So on that same token, it might be a lot of chicks competing for your attention. But that doesn't mean that everybody that's competing for your attention deserves it. Right? And just like with championships, right? Championships come with challenges. See, if you view yourself as exclusive and as a champion for real, then hey, it's not just because you're you. Nah, it came with some challenges. You know, because some people are vain, or some people are the true meaning of conceited. You got people like that that's truly conceited. You know, a lot of people use the word conceited out of context, but what conceit really is placing a value on yourself that doesn't fit. That's what conceit is. Basically thinking too highly of yourself. You know, undeservingly, unfittingly. You know, people think that conceited people just think highly of themselves, and, you know, maybe they supposed to. No. Conceit is thinking you $1 million chick when you really a $100 chick. That's conceit. Right? So when I say seeing yourself as a champion, I don't mean it in a conceited type of way. I'm talking about you've earned the right to consider yourself to be a champion, you know, and it ain't got nothing to do with materials, aesthetics, and, you know, what you look like and all that type of stuff. I'm talking about you being what a lot of people ain't. You being what, you know, some people with more money than you and more material things than you are not, you know, because there's some people out there that got more money than you. It's some guys out there that got more money than you and more materials than you, and, you know, look like they living it up, but they terrible fathers. You know what I mean? Shout out to the fathers out there that you might not drive the best car, you might not live in the best house, but you take the best care of your kids, though. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by being a champion. That's just one example. So, again, if you view yourself as a champion as a man, right? You understand everybody don't deserve the championship. Everybody don't deserve a shot at the title. You know what I mean? If you pay attention to Floyd Mayweather, man, he wasn't just giving everybody a shot at the title. No, you had to be the best to even get a shot at the title, let alone have the title. You know, to be able to even get in there, you had to be the best. So if you look at your manhood like that and what you have to offer, because, hey man, I know a chick who got action at me. Hey, she got action at, she's, a championship is being accessible to her, you know, like, just think about the benefits of a championship. That's what you giving her. You're not going to get at to somebody that's 0-17 or 0-82, you know, or 0 in what's it, 126 games in a season of baseball, 0-126. Nah, you ain't gonna get nobody a shot at the title like that. And like I said, it ain't so much to do with status. And a chick that's like that, that's a clear indication right there. Like I said, taking the time to just get to know somebody and paying attention. If a chick tripping off of what kind of car you drive and all that type of stuff, and hey man, that's letting you know right there she don't deserve a shot at the title. You know what I mean? She looking for a monkey with a nice situation, or a variable, a X or a Y with a nice situation. It could be anything. It's a dice roll. The situation ain't a dice roll, but the person in the situation is a dice roll. That's what she looking for. She looking for a dice roll with a nice situation. She ain't looking for a good man. Right? So if a chick don't get to know nothing about you, she don't even have a conversation with you, but she immediately tripping off of the kind of car that you driving or whatever situation that you in, that lets you know right there that that's not what you want, or it shouldn't be what you want. They don't deserve a shot at the title. at all. You know what I mean? You need to let somebody have a shot at the title that is looking past the situation to see the man in the situation, not the situation that the man is in. She looking past your situation to see you. You know what I mean? To see that you're responsible. To see that you think bigger than yourself. You know what I mean? And then she's going, see, that's the thing too, like, see, again, having a championship comes with a challenge. You don't see champions that weren't challenged in a great way. Champions are challenged. If you a champion, you was challenged. You overcame challenges to get that position as a champion, right? So again, that's another thing too within getting to know these females and getting to know about their childhood, what kind of student they were, what kind of team player they were, and after they grew up, what kind of employee they were. Have they had any consistency in their life? Have they maintained a job for so long, or have they maintained, any kind of position for an extended period of time? And then also within that, because you got to pay, it's so much to pay attention to. You got people that have been consistent with jobs or consistent with people, but they ain't never really faced no real challenges. They ain't never faced no real struggles. I know me myself, man, because I know what it's like to overcome certain struggles. That's just me. And you ain't got to be like me, but I just like people that done overcame struggles, man. I like people who done been through some shit. Because that's the type of people that I resonate with, because I'm that way. And as y'all probably remember a video that I made last year, I think, yeah, that was last year. Your struggle is gold. Oh, no, excuse me. 2 years ago. Yeah, a video I made a couple years ago called Your Struggle is Gold. That struggle, it just give you a different type of fuel, man. It just it just hit different, like everybody like to say nowadays. So, but a lot of chicks, they don't identify challenges the same, and therefore they don't deal with challenges the same way. You got a lot of chicks that run from challenges, right? And, them and challenges is strangers to one another. They ain't got nothing to do with each other, right? They don't recognize challenges, and challenges don't recognize them, let alone overcoming challenges. And I just like chicks that overcome challenges, man. And that's going to tell you a lot about the type of individual that you're dealing with. Because again, you got some chicks that's comfortable. You might got a chick that got a cool job, and, her living situation is cool and all of that, but you don't know if she's been faced with any real challenges and overcame real challenges. You know what I mean? And then you got to understand that too. What's a challenge for some is not much of a challenge for others. So you got to be able to identify that, right? Like, for some people, it might be a challenge to, acquire a certain type of living situation, or acquire a certain position with a job, or even for chicks in the game, for 304s, for some of them it might not be much of a challenge to check hunks and chunks of money, right? And you got to understand that just because a chick might have a good job in a good living situation, or a chick might make a lot of money in the game, that don't mean that she knows what it's like to overcome real challenges, though. Shit that'll make somebody buckle. She overcame that shit. Just because things look good doesn't mean she understands that. And you want to have somebody in your life that knows what it's like to overcome real challenges. Adam G, once again, good looking with the $50 holla. Because, in relationships, whether it's a P and H relationship, or it's a square relationship, or it's a friendship, or a family relationship, whatever it is, they come with challenges. But especially relationships, with a significant other. They come with challenges, man. And a lot of these chicks, they gonna buckle as soon as they smell a challenge. They gonna run as soon as they smell a challenge. They gonna leave you high and dry as soon as they smell a challenge. Because, times is different now, right? See, you could, like, in today's times, you really could skate by without having to face real challenges. You can evade challenges a lot easier in today's times than you could back in the day. You know what I mean? And because of that, a lot of people miss out on a lot of good things in life. Like knowing what it is to have somebody really be down with you and be into you and have your back and you got theirs and all of that, right? Because I've mentioned this before, right? But in my family, man, I've had a lot of marriages in my family that have lasted a long time, right? Like the longest marriage in my family was my auntie and my uncle. My uncle passed away a few years ago, and my auntie was with him for 60 years. They was together for 60 years, right? My auntie and uncle, they died from COVID at the end of 2020, in the beginning of 2021. My uncle died December 2020. My auntie, his wife, died January 2021, right? But they was together for over 40 years. My other uncle and auntie, they've been together for over 40 years. My other uncle and auntie, they've been together for almost 60 years. I'm going down the line of aunties and uncles, right? Because I got a lot of them. My other auntie and uncle, they've been together over 50 years. My other auntie and uncle, they've been together for over 30 years. And my uncle who just passed, well, two of my uncles passed away last year. One of my uncles was with my auntie for almost 50 years. And then my other uncle was with my auntie for 40 something years, right? Then I got cousins too that been together for 30, 40, 20. You know what I mean? I got a lot of marriages in my family like that, right? And some of y'all done heard me talk about this before, but it's so relevant, right? When you get together with these family members, your uncles and aunties who've been together for decades, when you see them on Christmas and Thanksgiving and, weddings and funerals and all that type of stuff, and you don't spend a lot of time with them all the time, you just think that like they just always got along so great for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Like it's just been a sweet ride the whole time. Right? especially when you're a kid, you think that, right? Because I know when I was a kid and my grandma was still in California and everybody go to grandma's house for Christmas and Thanksgiving. And, everybody, when you a kid and you see your aunties and your uncles and your older cousins and they've been together for a long time, you just think everything is just so sweet, right? But then when you grow up and you start, dealing with people on an adult level yourself, you understand like, damn, everybody go through shit. So my auntie and uncle that been together for 50 years, she probably done cheated on him. He probably done cheated on her. They done cheated on each other. She probably did him dirty like this. He probably did her dirty like that. She done probably harmed him physically. He probably done beat her up and, all type of stuff, but they was still together though. They stayed down, and that's what I mean by challenges. And a big part of the reason why they stayed down is because, times was just different. They didn't have, but it's, the same shit can be applied. Some of the same principles apply to today because people are still people. Right. But there wasn't so many things appealing outside of your relationship as there are now. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of appealing shit that didn't used to appeal to people back in the day. And then, it's so many more things in your face now than it used to be back then. But the thing to learn from them is that they went through whatever they went through and they still together. You know what I mean? I just went through my aunties and uncles. I didn't even go through my cousins because, like I said, I got cousins that been married for 30 years and 20 years, and some of them probably, I got a cousin. I got a cousin and she been married to her husband for damn near 50 years. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of that in my family, and a lot of y'all too. I know a lot of y'all probably got that in your family, you know what I mean? Extended family or immediate family or whatever, because the times were just different. But it's a lot to learn from those experiences and those people, and when you soak up game from them type of experience and in those people, it'll give you a good idea of what to look for when you dealing with people, because it's still people out there. It's still people that ain't, caught up in the bullshit of today's times. Young people too. They still out there. Let me see. Oh shit. Let me put some more love in my body, man. If y'all ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. What I mean by that, hit that like button, man. Yeah. Let me wet my whistle. But yeah, man, those are some things that will save you a lot of trouble if you take the time to learn these things about women. Save you a whole lot of trouble. Now, if y'all got some questions that you might have asked that I might have missed, or if you got any questions now, man, go ahead and shoot it, man. Let's talk about it. Who all in that gym tomorrow? Kaylin Ward, man, I'm gonna be in there bright and early myself, man. Tomorrow I am doing hamstrings, inner and outer thighs, and back. Yeah, that's what I'm on tomorrow. Gots to get to it. They weather those storms, man. New Child, you already know, man. See, I know you know, you come from that era too, where you got probably aunties and uncles and cousins, older cousins and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That been together forever. You know? And I just love seeing it, especially in 2024, they still together, man. Like, I got some marriages in my family, man. Like, and you know what's crazy? Just stuff like this I appreciate, right? Like I told y'all before, my auntie, she just turned 80 in September, right? Hey, man, she still got the old school answer machine at her house. Like, not a voicemail. I'm talking about an answer machine. See, some of y'all too young to even know what an answer machine is. You know what I mean? I ain't talking about a voicemail, an answering machine, a machine. Emphasis on machine. The answer machine is when you call auntie's house, you know, when the phone stop ringing, the answering machine comes on. And it's auntie on the answer machine saying, sorry, I've missed your call. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Boop. And then auntie can hear you on the answering machine. Auntie, is Jason, pick up the phone. And then she pick up the phone. Hey, baby, how you doing? Yeah, that's the answer machine. My auntie still got the answer machine to this day. Right? And then my other uncle and his wife, my uncle and my auntie, they've been together for 50-something years. Probably like 54, 55 years, something like that. Them, right? Now, this is give you an idea, right? Now, I got an uncle, one of my younger uncles out of the 9. I got 9 uncles. My uncle who is 67 right now, right? My uncle is 67. He told me that my older uncle and his wife, my uncle and auntie, which is his older brother, they've been having the same house phone number since he was in the 4th grade. Can you imagine that? Since he was in the 4th grade, which that had to be in the 60s. He's 67 years old, and his older brother and his wife, which is my uncle and auntie, been having the same phone number since he was in the 4th grade. That's crazy. You know what I mean? But I love that type of shit. Like, because people don't think about everything that goes with that. You hear that and it's like, wow, they've been having the same phone number forever. But no, just think about everything that go with that. Think about everything surrounding that phone number. You know what I mean? All the ups and downs and turnarounds and lives lost and friction and turmoil, and man, they went through the crack era with that phone number. You know what I mean? They went through the pandemic. They went through they went through everything with that phone number. That phone number to see some changes, man. They've had that phone number damn near since the civil rights movement, man. They went through Vietnam with that phone number. They went through the war in Iraq with that phone number. They went through Afghanistan with that phone number. You know what I mean? They went through, man, that phone number has seen a whole bunch of stuff. You dig? So that's the type of stuff that I appreciate, man. And you know, some people ain't never seen that. They don't even think it's possible. You know? Now, you know, people in the game, I understand why we don't get married. You know what I mean? And you don't even necessarily have to get married legally, I can understand that. But like I was watching the interview that Fresh and Fit did with Valuetainment, which is Patrick Bet-David, right? And they were Fresh and Fit was talking about why they would never get married. And if they did get married, how they would go to another country to get married. You know, I forget which is which, but one of them was like, you know, I would go to Colombia or some other country to get married. And then the other one, he said some other country that he would go to get married. And then they were saying how the reason why they wouldn't want to get married in America is because the rights favor the woman, and if it's a divorce, you know, all this type of stuff, and this, that, and the third, right? And I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, they whole concept of marriage, like, here I am, the pimping, and I have a better concept of what marriage is than the squares. Ain't that some crazy shit? A damn pimp understand marriage better than some squares. Like, these are some nerdy ass squares too. Like, they admitted that in the video, that they some damn nerds that never, you know, they didn't really start having their way with women until later in life and all of those type of shit. And they still ain't got it together, right? But they whole idea of marriage is like something that's going to end, you know, in a bad way. They not even thinking about till death do us part. You know, that's what marriage is supposed to be, for real. You know, and like when you get married, you shouldn't be thinking to yourself like, oh, you know, I know this is it's only a matter of time before this thing crash and burn, so let me be prepared for it. Let's get married in another country and all that old shit, and then come back and live over here. That's crazy. You know, the whole, if you have like, put it like this, if you thinking like that, if you thinking about, you know, what's going to happen when it go bad and all that type of shit, then you shouldn't even get married at all. You know, because like I said, all of these long ass marriages in my family, and some of them did end, you know, and death do they part. You know, my uncle and auntie that was together for 40 something years that died from COVID, they didn't part ways until they died. You know, my uncle and auntie, my auntie who just turned 80, that was with her husband for 60 years, they didn't part ways until he died. You know what I mean? And there's so many other marriages I know like that. I know they wasn't thinking to themselves like, damn, what if we get divorced, or is she gonna take me for this and all that? They wasn't having them kind of thoughts. You know, they really seen it like till death do we part. So I don't know, man. You know, squares be tripping me out sometimes. Certain squares. I know it's some cool squares out there too. All squares ain't equal. I know that. You know what I mean? But hey, man, we're going to take a quick little intermission real quick, man. Y'all don't go no damn where. And if you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button. A pimp going to be back like Chuck Woolery, man. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. You dig? It's one of them joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism ride. Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission ride. For you hoes, just that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and to spark up your hoeing and get you right back going. You dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashin' for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about with running my earned route. Then working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch. That's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless. Empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard. I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. Dig. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? Alright, man, we right back to it, man. Like I said, man, if y'all got any questions, go ahead and shoot them now. Ike raised me, man. Ike's raised me, or Ike has raised me, however you say that, man. Hey, I was just finna ask who raised you, man, because you talking about Freeze got that Mace flow, man. If you don't knock it off, Mace ain't never been able to flow like no damn Freeze. And I fucks with Mace. Mace is dope, but he ain't no Freeze, man. Stop it. Right, like Bill Pearce said, I wouldn't compare him to Mace. Bill Pearce say two of my aunties in their 90s been married to their husbands until their husbands died. Yeah, man. That's how my auntie was, man. She was with my uncle for 60 years, man. Right, like you said, two different flows, but they're both dope. I agree with you, man. You got to put the drinks away, like Stephen A. Laugh my ass off, y'all stupid. More like an updated iced tea. I don't agree with that neither, but I don't take no offense to that because iced tea is legendary. So I don't take no offense being compared to iced tea, but I still don't think me and iced tea got anything to do with each other. See, maybe because y'all just basing it off of that song, like y'all got to hear some of my other stuff, then you wouldn't say the things that you saying. But maybe with that particular song, I guess I could understand that because it's more like a laid back, mellow type of flow on that song. So I could dig that. I could dig that. I get it. I feel you. I know you probably didn't mean nothing by it, but when you say Macy, like if you, like I said, man, if you listen to my other shit, then you wouldn't dare say Mace. And it ain't no disrespect to Mace because I love Mace. You know, like I was bumping Mace in the 90s, like in real time. You know what I mean? I know damn near his whole first album, that Harlem World. You know what I mean? I kept Harlem World in rotation. But nah, me and Mace is in two totally different galaxies, man. No disrespect to him. What's your opinion on handling a strong personality coupled with a victim's mentality? Well, it depends on the type of individual that you are, Adam G. You know, me myself, I'd have to look at myself in comparison to that not necessarily in comparison, but you know, to see how I measure up with somebody like that, right? And how compatible I am with somebody like that. And see, it's, you know, it's a difference between a strong personality and somebody who's uncooperative. You know what I mean? Like you might be saying strong personality, but this individual might be uncooperative. Right? They might not be the type of individual that can see eye to eye with you. That can you know, reach a common ground with you. In a lot of cases, maybe in some cases, but a lot of cases, right? And then the victim's mentality. Hey, that's one of the biggest problems with society today. You know, the victim's mentality is praised nowadays. The victim mentality is championed nowadays. But you know, somebody who has that victim mentality, if you're the type of person that's productive and constructive, if you're a bold individual, if you're a proactive individual, if you're somebody who loves yourself, then you know it's gonna be difficult to get anywhere and make any kind of progress and build anything with somebody with a victim's mentality. Right? You just got to think about that. Like, you should want to build. I would imagine you want to build. I'm pretty sure you want to build with whoever you with. And just think about somebody with a victim's mentality. And endeavoring to build with somebody like that. Just think about building with somebody like that. It ain't gonna work. At least I don't see how that's gonna work. So, emotionally scarred woman with manipulative tendencies. Yeah, that ain't, it's too many women in the world to deal with somebody like that. And see, a lot of times you can get comfortable with somebody like that, but that ain't, that ain't cool. Lucchini, I appreciate you, man. Good looking. He in my top 5. And that diss song from years ago showed he can really rap. Yeah, man. Hey, that diss song was a trip too. And then see, because like I said, see, Mace is a rapper. Ike's raised me. I don't know how into like actual hip hop you are, but Mace is a rapper, right? And me, I'm actually an MC. Like I'm a lyricist. That's and I don't just say that lightly. Like I'm a technician. I'm a scientist when it comes to rhymes, right? And it's just a difference. You got people that can rhyme good, and then you got people that's just like, like assassins. And at heart, the nature of my MCing is that, I'm an assassin. I'm coming to kill. Right? I'm that guy that when I'm in the room, ain't nobody messing with me. That's what I come from. You know what I mean? I don't carry it like that as much anymore because, my passion ain't necessarily the same, but that's my origin when it comes to rapping. You know what I mean? Like I'm really an MC for real. Like I have an actual formula to my shit. Like I have a formula that I can write down and hand to you and be like, this is my formula for how I do my shit. You know what I mean? Like Rakim has a formula. Jay-Z has a formula. Ludacris has a formula. Eminem has a formula. Nas definitely has a formula. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like real technicians with the shit. Like these guys have formulas as opposed to like a Mace. Mace is just a good rapper. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good rappers out there. 50 Cent has a formula. Who's another good rapper? I don't know. I can't really say. I mean, it's a lot of good rappers out there. Scarface has a formula. You know what I mean? There's certain people out there that you just hear them and they got a formula. Mac Dre had a formula. You know what I mean? It's just different. My apologies to the chat or on her, like I'm on the phone having a private conversation. Laugh out loud. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't even see what you talking about. Right, Andre 3000 for sure got a formula. You know what I mean? J Electronica formula. You know what I mean? These people is right. Big Pun had a formula. I'm talking about like people that literally, not figuratively, but people who literally have it down to a science. Like my shit is to a science. and the science applies whether it's like a regular mellow flow or I'm just like lyrically killing it. You know what I mean? It's a formula to it. You know, I got like a real formula that consists of 6 principles. Like it's principles that make up my formula. You know what I mean? That I stick to. You know, I might not apply every last principle in every rhyme, but I'm definitely applying at least 4 of my principles in everything that I put together. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like a real formula, you dig? But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up now, man. Y'all already know. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in. Let me put some love in my body before we go. Hydrate myself one more again. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man, for all the comments, all the questions, the input, the feedback, the jokes, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for sharing. I appreciate you for subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats, the PayPals, the Cash Apps. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.